When you want only the best for your pet, check out AbbybellPetDesigns.com. We offer quality products such as floppy beds, crate pads, round pet beds, pillow slip covers, belly bands, and more. All products come in a variety of colors and sizes, guaranteed to satisfy your pet's particular style. Your pet deserves to be pampered, so shop at AbbybellPetDesigns.com. If you don't see the item you want listed in our shop, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to make the product of your pet's dreams. AbbybellPetDesigns.com. Good morning, everybody. It's Monday. Monday. We're back again. How are you? Waiting for people to come in. I think I'm being shadow banned. Good morning, Chezzy. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Lynn. Good to see you. Hey, Kim. Good to see you. Good morning. Not sure if you can even see this on Twitter. It's interesting. I had a time on my timeline. I had a little video. Hey, Teresa. Had a little video of Gracie running through some weave poles and jumping through a hoop. And in just a small amount of time, hey, Huey, I had over 100 views on that video. This morning I noticed, hey, Melanie, this morning I noticed that the video had gone back to 0 views. Hey, Robin. And then shortly thereafter, it just disappeared when I unpinned it from my timeline, which I find very curious. Hey, Lori. Hey, Michael. So I'm understanding that they're shadow banning people again. Hey, Dee. Hey, Noel. So I'm not sure what's going on, but I do have up there right now. I have another video of her running through the little weave poles. It's not pinned to the top of the page, but it's on the timeline. Good morning, Dixie Doodles. How are you? I am included. Lynn said, "Good morning, Maury. Good morning." Quickly, I'm going to read to you 1 Timothy and 4, just a small verse. Gracie, future agility. I'm hoping so, Star. That's what I want to do, and we're training her to kind of do that now. Keeps her very active, keeps her mind active. She's extremely smart, needs challenges, and so she really loves doing it. I charge you therefore before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who will judge the living and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be ready in season and out of season, convince, rebuke, exhort, with all long suffering and teaching. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but according to their own desires, because they have itching ears, they will heap up for themselves teachers, and they will turn their ears away from the truth, and be turned aside to fables. But you be watchful in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. Amen. Good morning, Cully. How are you? All right. So let's get into it. I started reading the gospel and people ran. It's amazing. It does get rid of trolls, though. Hey, Jules, good morning. I like to start off reading the Bible, and it's really good. Hey, Dee. But you'll notice that the trolls, right after or during the time I read the scripture, they run. So they run for the hills. So it's probably a good thing. All right. So President Trump. I know, isn't that funny, Lynn? I mean, it's hilarious, really. President Trump made news again when he, in all caps, told Iran, don't ever threaten the United States again, because Rouhani came out and basically threatened the United States. Right after that, of course, after President Trump did his tweet, hiding from the light. I know, Maury. I mean, it's like little roaches. You turn on the light and they scamper away. It's like, oh no! So anyway, basically, after President Trump put that in all caps, the left went crazy. I even saw one person on the left Robin said the word of God runs the demons away. It does, Robin, every time. It's amazing. Uh, Somebody wrote, why, you, Donald Trump, why did you have to get rid of the Iran nuclear deal? It was a great deal, and you had to just go and mess it up. I couldn't believe that, but I could, unfortunately. And it's funny because, if you recall, he was too soft on North Korea, too tough. I know, too tough on North Korea, sorry. Too soft on Russia, and now he's too hard on Iran again. Hey, Amy. Good morning, Lisa. So the left can never be satisfied, as we know. Like I said, too tough on North Korea, too soft on Russia, and too tough on Iran, of all people. And I don't know if you've been watching the news over the weekend, hitting the road, but listening. Okay, Lisa, thank you. Hello, Amy. Hey, guys, hope we all had a great weekend. Lee, we did. A lot of stuff going on the weekend, as you know. There was a mass shooting in Toronto. And, hey, Barbara, where 2 people are dead now, 9 injured. Man went in and started shooting people. And, of course, they have no idea why he would do that. The mayor came out this morning, was talking, looked like basically he was reading a grocery list when he was without emotion, telling everybody how sorry he was about the shooting and how they needed to do something about guns in Toronto. Yeah, I would say try to keep them away from the criminals, but obviously you're not doing a great job at that, and you've disarmed everybody else. Hey, Bob. So back to the drawing board. Also, as I wanted to say, there's a lot going over in Israel and Syria, going on over in Israel and Syria right now. Israel has gone over and has basically attacked and blown up some places in Syria. A lot of things are occurring. I know that, as I talked about last week, I think part of what was in that meeting, and President Trump has said what was in the meeting between he and Putin, but I think the whole idea is to try to get Putin to get Iran to leave Syria. And really, I don't think that's going to happen. It sounds good, and it may be something where Russia says, yes, we'll help you do that, when in fact they're not going to do that. They're not going to make Iran leave. Maybe temporarily, or maybe it'll sound like they're leaving. I don't think so, because if you look at the end times, you look at the Bible and you read it, they're not leaving. They're not going anywhere. And in fact, later on, Russia and Iran will be moving in to attack Israel. Whenever that occurs, we don't know, but it's Ezekiel 38. So, but it sounds good, and the left doesn't like it, anything that happened with the Putin-Trump meeting, because it involved Israel, because it was to benefit Israel, was part of it, and of course the left hates Israel as Obama proved. The Bible is going to happen no matter what. That's right, Chizzy. Absolutely. So it's a matter of when will it happen. Keep the sanctions on Iran. Money talks. Absolutely, Cully. Keep the sanctions on and try to drive them out of Syria if you can. Because the only reason they're in Syria is to go after Israel. I think that's why they're clearing out the white helmets so they can clear Iran out of Syria. Exactly, Noel. And I heard that the white helmets, even though that they have been evacuated by the Israelis, that there are some still caught there and they can't get out. So I do believe that that's what's going to happen. I believe that, if anything, why such hate for Jews? Lynn, since the beginning of time, they've hated the Jews. And it's very complicated. And, it's asking me a redundant question anyway, right? I mean, you already know the answer. But I forgot what was it. White helmets are racist. Cully said. I think one of the things that may have happened, go ahead and block that bot right there. I think that one of the things that may have happened during that meeting is that maybe Russia didn't say, I will help you get Iran out, but maybe they said, I will not stand in your way if you want to go in and get Iran out, or if you want to go in and let Israel come in and get them out, we won't stand in the way. I could see maybe Russia saying that they would do that, because they've kind of stood back a little bit because due to um, what's been happening recently. That Iran trying to make military bases, and Netanyahu saying we will not allow you to set up military bases in Syria. Hey, Jerry. So I could see Russia stepping aside again and saying, if you want to come in and get them, go ahead. We won't help you, but we won't hinder you. And maybe that will happen. And I mean, let's face it, Israel has to move them back, and Israel really should try to get them totally out of Syria altogether. But according to what Israel or Iran likes to say, is that they're kind of helping Assad stay in power. They're not helping Assad. They don't care about Assad. They're helping themselves. And I think Russia's doing the same thing. So we'll have to see where all that goes. But I know that mainstream media is not really talking about it and what's going on over there in Israel and Syria. So I wanted to tell you what was going on from what I knew. Hey, Alan. Okay, now, I don't know if you saw this. In Charlotte, interview is tomorrow. Yay, Brandon. Brandon, go for it. Get that job. I think it'll be great. Don't know about the job, but it sounds positive for some reason. This one sounds even better than the others, so I don't know. Hey, Marlene, good to see you. Marlene lost a fur baby who passed away. So everybody pray for Marlene and pray for her little fur baby that passed away. Hey, Amber, good to see you. The squeeze on Iran is on, throwing a temper tantrum. Yes, Noel. HR communications with the hospital. Wow, very good, Brandon. That really sounds great. I mean, it really does. Hey, Rich. That sounds like right up your alley. I don't know why, but it just does. Teresa said she was sorry, Marlene, for your loss. Thanks, my poor old dogs are aging out. I know, Marlene. It's just... Ugh. Good morning, Zippity Doodah. How are you? Oh, sorry, lost to myself a couple months ago. It's so bad, Jerry. They're family members. True, they just want Israel destroyed, Robin said. Prayers for Marlene. It's hard to lose our fur babies. That was from Robin, Marlene. Over the weekend, I don't know if you heard about what happened at Trader Joe's in Hollywood, but basically there was a chase. It ended at Trader Joe's. Suspect jumped out of the car, ran into the Trader Joe's, and one employee died, allegedly by the shooter. And it was, I believe it was a female employee that was working there. The man was supposedly running from the police because he shot his grandmother 7 times and also shot his girlfriend in the head, supposedly. So now he's been arrested. You saw it on YouTube Live. Okay. Yeah, typically they don't like to say too much. Losing a pet is unbearable. My heart breaks for you, Marlene. Yes, it's hard. Yeah. Okay. Well, Pooh, you can just leave. Good morning, Patrick. Good to see you. We have trolls in already. My goodness. On Monday morning. Yeah. They got him on camera. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. He was 28 years old and now in jail. Yeah, you blocked him, blocked the poop out of him. I know. And yeah, he was, when he was holding people hostage, he wanted to talk to his girlfriend that he had allegedly shot in the head. So they were trying to stall for time. I'm sure she probably wasn't in too much of a mood to talk to him, nor should she have. Yep, we saw that too. I mean, Jerry, we just talked about that. Flush the poo, Cully said. Yeah, it's funny that nobody has any clue as to what may have happened in Toronto and who that could have been and why they would have done something like that. Gosh, just don't know. There was also an acid attack on a 3-year-old boy, a British boy, by 4 men. He has serious burns to his arms and face. They're hoping it won't be something that maims him for the rest of his life. But they have arrested the guy. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. Good. Yeah, morning news, Rich. Yep. Good morning, Junior. How are you? Horrible in the UK. Yeah, absolutely. 4 adult men allegedly did that to that little boy. Yep. Poor little guy. I mean, can you imagine? They were out shopping in a mall, happened to be in a department store, and these four men came up and supposedly threw acid on them. Grooming gang could be. Yes, they had detained the guys who did it, Lee said. Hopefully they will arrest them forever. Thank you so much for the super hearts, Rich. How are you? Chessie. So very sad. Yes. Robin said it makes me sick and it's crazy. Absolutely. A plastic surgeon has committed to fix the boy's face. Thank God, Amber. I just, you know, such evil in the world. I mean, it is just getting worse, and we have to stay vigilant for things like that. Just amazing. I don't know if you saw over the weekend too. Why, Teresa? Because he exists, and they don't like it. I mean, isn't that reason enough for people that are crazy? And I don't mean crazy that they didn't know what they were doing, but crazy in what they do. I know it's never ending, Rich. Absolutely never ending. It was random, Brandon, supposedly, yes. And there's a video out, and you can see the four men. The acid attacks have doubled every year since 2012 there, Amber said. Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, when they said, I just hope he doesn't scar him for life or maim him for life. Well, yeah, it will, whether his face is fixed or not or whatever. I mean, you can't go through something like that. Even though you're 3, you're going to remember that. And it will affect you for the rest of your life that somebody was so deranged that they did that. I don't know exactly where it was, Brandon. His trauma will need to be ministered to. Yeah, but it never goes away, Jerry. You know, I mean, it lessens perhaps over time. It doesn't go away. I think the plastic surgeon is from the U.S., Amber said. Good. Unreal. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen with Julian Assange, who basically they say is going to be turned over to the UK. I can't imagine if Tommy Robinson is any example of what's going to happen, what is going to happen to Julian Assange. Because Tommy Robinson, who knows where he's at. My dad is on his way back to Missouri near Branson. Prayers for safe travels. Absolutely, Chessie. Guns are not the problem. Better acid control laws needed. Patrick said, yeah, exactly. I know there was a video of furniture coming out of the embassy. Jerry, I tell you, it's frightening. And I know people have been saying, you know, President Trump, you need to do something. I don't know what President Trump could do at this point. I'm not really sure, or if he'd want to get involved in that. I can remember certain things from when I was 3. He won't forget this, Robin said. Exactly, Robin. And especially when your face is scarred, it's going to be some scarring no matter what they do, I'm sure. Also, I don't know if you, over the weekend, what happens to the embassy cat? I have no idea. Probably don't want to know, Amber. I mean, could stay there, possibly. I mean, I don't know. Over the weekend, the New York Times broke a bombshell on Saturday. So that lets you know how important it is to the Republicans and how hurtful it is to the left. But they broke the information regarding the FISA application. The president had supposedly had been asked by the House GOP to release that information. And that information basically said, and if you really look at it, look closely at it, also read my article at SusanKnowles.com, you can see that the left talked about Christopher Steele. They didn't say that it was a political paid document that they got, who this guy was, or anything else. And did you see the redactions? Who can read this? I know, it was so redacted. There's another one, bot to block. And so it shows that the application was asked for based on information that was not clearly given to the courts. They didn't tell the court that this was from that the Clinton Foundation and the DNC, through the attorney at Perkins Coie, had hired Christopher Steele, and they had paid for the research. None of that was brought out in that application. Hey, Sue, good to see you. So, therefore, there's a little problem, but nobody seems to care. especially Senator Marco Rubio, who said, you know what? I don't think there's any problem that the FBI surveilled Carter Page. I think it was fine. And I really don't know why President Trump keeps saying stuff about collusion and obstruction. That it was perfectly okay for them to do that. Marco, my question would be to you. I know, little Marco, Brandon said. When is it okay to omit information, omit facts, or lie to the court of any kind? When is that okay to do that? It isn't. And you're saying that you're okay with the FBI doing anything based on false information. That's crazy, Marco. Think about it. If I were the 4 or 5 of the judges who got scammed, I would be ticked off and speak up. They should do more than be ticked off and speak up. They should be trying to disbar some people, Jerry. I can remember certain, and there's something else. So they should be taking action against those attorneys. And it's fraud, yeah. Marco down, yeah. Glad little Marco never became president. Thank you, Jesus, Chezzy said. Yet no indictments. Yeah, I mean, basically the only indictments that we're seeing are those people like Flynn, who they say lied to the FBI. And you get the Russians, of course, who nobody expected would ever even reply, who are now defending themselves. Marco makes me sick of him more every day, Jerry said. Yeah, kind of, I get it. I get it. Let's see. Today, Manafort is due in court. Now, he's asking, apparently, for a delay in his criminal trial. There's 16 counts of bank and tax fraud and failure to file reports of foreign banks and financial accounts against him. And we know that, we've been told that Tony Podesta was given immunity to testify against him, which is amazing because supposedly they both worked together and probably did about the same type of crime. And the charges, as you all know, but just want to reiterate, they mostly predate the 2 months in which Manafort was the campaign manager for President Trump. Once again, this is something that the DOJ could handle. This doesn't have to have a special counsel. My thing is what came out yesterday with the FISA application and the information that was contained in there, and all of the immunity is always given to the Democrats, Amber said. Exactly. We should be calling for a special counsel. What is with the little man Marco who makes fun of President Trump's hands? Rich said, well, I think Marco just decided he was getting lonely and he'd better speak out and say something. I don't know why you'd think that. Anybody cared, but, you know. Robert said, I used to like Marco. Can't remember why now. I know. I think, in the beginning, Robin, Marco did help. Marco Polo, Cully said, did help with the veterans. And he was trying to help with the veterans. And then he kind of just went away and started doing and saying stupid stuff like he did. Now, I know Rand Paul came out this morning. He wants Brennan's secret clearance to be taken away from him. Such a punk monkey, Rich said. And so I think they should do something with Brennan. Brennan, who voted for a communist. Brennan, who is calling the president treasonous with no grounds for doing so. Brennan, who is working with, CNN? I will be polite. Okay, Rich. Never forget Marco's rebuttal, water mishap. Yep. Well, why does he still have clearance? Barbara, that's a good question. A lot of times, they don't take away your clearance when you leave office, when you've been in that high of position, which is stupid. Brennan needs handcuffs, Marlene said. Yeah, and like Susan Rice, some of those people, they gave back their clearance so that they could go and get information to defend themselves when they're, or whatever, when they were speaking before the House or the Senate. I can see that. Marco was a sweaty... Wait, I missed that. Marco was a sweaty water-drinking liar trying to become president, Chezzy said. That's wrong. Any business takes your badges. Yep, Struck needs handcuffs. Tell you, Brandon. Josette said, good morning, my lovely Sue. In case you guys don't know, Christians United for Israel is in Washington, D.C. right now. Pastor John Hagee, keynote speaker, Nikki Haley. Thanks, Josette. Yeah, I think a lot of people need handcuffs. A lot of people definitely need for people to come out and start looking. There's another bot investigating. The Republicans need, once again, to be calling for a special counsel. Good morning, Ruthie. We can't continue this waiting. We can't continue to allow the Democrats to move ahead and do everything that they're doing, and we do nothing. Barbara said Strzok needs an exorcism. Is Lisa Page going to flip on her lover? Bob, they're saying that Lisa Page gave some information that was contrary to Peter Strzok. She was also saying that China was the one hacking as well, but you're not hearing anything about that in the news. Vice News had a new piece on Hagee and those united for Israel saying money divides Palestine. Oh, please. Its sex bots must have been a slow weekend, Barbara said. Yeah, the bots like to come in and follow people. I'm still waiting for the orange jumpsuits. I think I'll be waiting forever, Robin said. Yeah, it seems like that because I don't see anybody moving ahead to do anything. I'd love if he got it for perjury, Marlene said. You know, and also I was asked last week, I was saying, where's Jeff Sessions? Well, he's doing some speech again this morning. I watched about 2 seconds of it just to make sure that he was standing there with the pulse, and he was, and I turned it off because I just couldn't hear him talk about anything. It's like, I don't want to hear you giving another speech, Jeff. I want to hear you coming out and saying, we're going to go after X, Y, and Z. You're waiting for Warren to take a DNA test? Yeah, keep waiting. Jeff is staying away from the mess. Yeah, Jeff is staying away from everything, Ruthie. He's going out, he's doing a little, here's another bot, get that one and block that one. He's just going out and making on speeches. I want Obama to leave and not come back into the country, Barbara said. Yeah, it's probably not going to happen, Barbara, unfortunately. Yeah, butt bots, I know, Brandon, all of them. Pretty disgusting bots. Now, Pelosi's doing something interesting over the weekend. Do they have something on Sessions? Makes me wonder since he's not doing his job, Robin said. Good, blocking them all. Melissa would be deciding to investigate Clinton Foundation and others as secretary had timed. Yeah, that's Strzok's wife. I am praying for other things for that traitor Obama, Rich said. That's Strzok's wife, yep. Yeah, I will. Yeah, everybody check your followers after the scope. Kenya first U.S. President Obama, Cully said. I bet Jeff was told to stand down and maybe Clinton Mafia visit him in private, Ruthie said. You know, I don't know. I don't know if Jeff has been, visited by anybody. I think Jeff is just listening. Sounds like you're stepping on ants with all the bots. Get that? I know, Alan. I tell you, always delete trolls after the scope. I check my followers every day. Yeah, so do I. I think Jeff Sessions is just basically just in his cush job for now, sitting back, going to little speeches, attending things like that, and said, "Okay, Rod, you take the helm." You know, he really has just turned everything over to Rod Rosenstein. It almost, no matter what it is, Rod Rosenstein's the one that's doing it. Sessions, nah, he's just going to little speeches. Oh, yes, we're going to go after criminals. We're going after MS-13, which is great. I'm not saying. Jeff is acting as if he is already retired. I know. There you go. Maybe he's gearing up, Brandon, for what it will be like when he retires and makes those speeches on the circuit. He's not obligated to give public updates on everything he's working on. That's true, Julia. I would like something, though. I would like to see something. I would like to know that he's doing some type of investigation. I would feel more comfortable if he came out and said, okay, for all you people who want to know, I am working on some investigations right now. I'll take that. I'll take anything. Because I'm not getting anything. I'm seeing speech after speech. I'm seeing Rod Rosenstein coming out and saying who's indicted and who's this and who that, but I don't see anything for Jeff. It would be nice. Maybe he will surprise us. You know, Ruthie, I'm all up for that. As you know, I defended Jeff Sessions. I really felt that Jeff Sessions, and I still believe it, should have recused himself because he was doing the right thing ethically. He was following the advice of his attorney, and he was doing what was ethical. And I still believe that. However, The investigation against Jeff Sessions is over. Time to pick up the helm again. Time to get moving on things. Time to be telling everybody, okay, it's time. Okay, Mueller, let's just wrap this up. That's what people want, but he's not there to assuage people who want indictments. It's true, Julia, but he is the head of the DOJ. His job is to go out as the Department of Justice head and find things to prosecute. That's his job. Hey, Veritas, how are you? Yes, I thought Jeff would be a good attorney general with his past history, but he's not helping much. Jerry, and sorry, can he unrecuse himself? Yes, he can, Ruthie. Yes, he can. And, all these people that should have recused themselves never did. If Jeff does anything, it will be a long day in Washington. It will be a sweep. Yeah, I think so, too. If Jeff is working on anything, it's going to be huge, and it'll just come out in the news, and it'll be like taking all these people down. That's what I think. I don't know what Jeff is doing, but I do know that when you're the head of the department, a lot of times you pass off the mundane, everyday stuff to the one next, below you. Jeff, who I know, wizard. I would love it if it occurs before the elections. Ruthie, it has to. Robin said, exactly, I want to hear something, and there's plenty of work for him with all the corruption. Yep, everyone at once connecting the dots, yes. But we need a special counsel. This waiting for Horowitz, who doesn't, by the way, according to some people, take phone calls so they can tell him about different people like Strzok and other people. If you're going to do an investigation, you got to talk to everybody, especially those people who claim that they have been leaving you phone messages for you to call them back. There's another bot. Get that one too. I know, I feel like I'm in the South swatting the mosquitoes at this time of year. Heard that the economy is poised to grow at 4.2%. When that happens, the media will go nuts. We may have to put them in straitjackets. That would be fun to watch. Ha, ha, ha. Josette said, yes. Yes, material witnesses and info, you think. I know. Okay, Chezzy, take care. Yeah, I would like to see, no more excuses. I know, like Goodlatte now, I said, okay, well, I want to call in, I think he wants to call in Brennan. Let me see who else. He wants to call in Brennan and maybe Comey and Lynch. Okay, why? Why are we doing that? Let's just get a special prosecutor. I know, leave our skeeters alone. But let's get a special prosecutor. Let's get going. And let's move it on. Whack a bot. I know. Did Rich leave? Somebody was saying goodbye to Rich. Who is Rich? Can the president demand things to be unredacted? Yeah, that he can, Barbara. So is Rich really a prophet, or you guys seem to know who Rich is? Said prophetic Rich. I'm not sure what that means, but who would he appoint? Brad, that's an interesting question. We could appoint anybody we wanted to on the Republican side. We could appoint anybody that Wizard, that's not really funny. Never saw Rich before here, but he seemed to know us. Oh, okay. Okay, Barb. You can appoint anybody, any Republican, anybody that used to be a former FBI director, anybody worth the DOJ, any attorney that you wanted to, basically. I think if he unclassified them, could see them. Well, we can see them. Says Rick does fasting, prayer, Bible study, Richard Birdsall. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, it could be Rudy. I just don't know if necessarily Rudy is up for that job. There's another bot. So, but I mean, there's got to be somebody. Anybody. Let's see. I liked Dan Bongino's tweet yesterday. He came out against those people with FICE when the FICE application came out. It came out against the Democrats. If you guys could, if you don't mind retweeting, we've passed the halfway mark. He said, Russia collusion fairy tale is a complete hoax. Hillary's team paid for the hoax. The court was lied to about the hoax. Democrats are all in on the police state, and Adam Schiff is a discredited liar. I love that from Dan Bongino. He's so accurate in that information that he gave. But I'll tell you what's going to happen. Nothing. I'll tell you what's going to happen with the FISA application. Nothing. How many more news bites are we going to hear about the FISA application? Probably not too many. Hey, Eric, and maybe even none. Because the Democrats want this buried. That's why it came out on Saturday and it didn't wait until Sunday. Demon rats are waiting for Obama's command. Yep, as usual, Barbara. So it's up to the Republicans to see if they do anything about this. And my guess is they won't do too much. With Goodlatte saying I need to talk to this person and that person, what I want to do is I want the people talked to under oath. I want them brought out in the light and talk to them, without hiding them behind closed doors and later saying, oh, well, we can't tell you what they said. It wasn't, what Donald Jr., remember Donald Trump Jr., when he went out and he talked to the House or whatever, wasn't a whole transcript released? So he was behind closed doors and nobody had a problem releasing his information. Why can't we get information on anybody else? Why do we have to have these secret meetings? Why don't we have a special counsel? Schiff is my instant vomit inducer. Apologies for being graphic, Veritas. If they don't bring things to light, God will. Yes, he will, Robin. It just makes it that much more difficult and longer. And as time marches on towards the election, we need that information. We need it brought out in the public. Anything more on James Gunn being fired by Disney? Nikolai asks. Well, the only thing that I know, of course, everybody else is talking about is, he was a long time ago making, I would say, jokes, if you will, that were about small children and pedophilia, let's just say. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I've thought about this over the weekend. I've heard people talking about James Gunn on Periscope. I've heard people talking about, well, you should just forgive and forget. As a Christian, honorable person, I could not be unbiased over some people, so nope, I do not believe Schiff, Barbara said. I don't know how you feel about James Gunn, but I will have to say honestly, in my entire life, I have never once made a joke about children and pedophilia. Ever. Ever. And if one of my friends ever did that, they would no longer be my friend. And I can honestly say that to you. So, are you supposed to forgive somebody who does that? It's not up to me. I can't be judge. I'm not God. But I can say I'm not your friend. And I'm not going to tolerate that. I can certainly do that. So, I don't know. My point is, I don't know how anybody who wasn't at least bent to sort of that direction, how anybody could make a joke about children and pedophilia. To me, it doesn't add up. And I know other people. Glenn Beck's come out and said we should forgive him. I think maybe Ben Shapiro said that. I don't know. He'll have to. That's between him and God. But I wouldn't be friends with him. I wouldn't watch any of his movies. I wouldn't buy anything that he was selling because, again, I just don't think that you make jokes about children and pedophilia. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's sickening and should never be joked about, Robin said. Yes, absolutely agreed. I think there's something a little askew. If you're doing stuff like that and making jokes about children and pedophilia, it's time to seek help with a therapist. There's a bot again. So anyway, that's just my opinion about it. And I don't know what he's going to do for the rest of his life, but jokes are supposed to be funny. I know, Alan, and quote unquote jokes about children being raped or this or that, that's not funny to me or anybody who is, I think, stable. Not saying he's not saying he wasn't at the time. I don't know, but I'm just saying I don't tolerate it. Well, let's forgive Rosie. No, that's not funny. Exactly, Alan. There's some things you can forgive and just move on and go, oh, well, you were young. That, not me, but I have a hard time with that. Barbara says she's not forgiving Whoopi. Yeah, I don't care about Whoopi. I don't really care what she does. Ben Shapiro was just against curbing free speech. He thought it was sickening, and he wants people like this to be out in the light where we can all see it instead of hiding it. Well, I mean, it should be out in the light. Discussing stuff like that should be out in the light. It should come out of the darkness so it can't fester and grow. And I'm not against free speech. So if the guy wanted to say it, James Gunn wanted to say it, he has every right to say it. But I have every right to do what I want to do about it, as long as it's moral and legal. What I do. And forgiving him, there's nothing to forgive on my part. I'm not God, so I don't have to forgive him. But I don't have to buy his stuff. I don't have to participate in it or anything else. So, all right, let's see. Now, there's this Shapiro is self-serving, so I never listen to him. He's another Cerno. Barbara said, out of the mouth, the abundance of the heart speaks. Alan says, Glenn Beck said to forgive. He defended his gross behavior, yet he says what POTUS tweets is unforgivable. Something wrong there. Yeah, I know, just that little weird. I'm not a Ben Shapiro fan. Pamela said, hey, Pamela. Holy Toledo, the all-cap tweet threat was remarkable. Where was that bulldog with Putin? He didn't need to be a bulldog with Putin because Putin wasn't threatening the United States like Rouhani did. So there you go. Yeah, I know Ben is very critical of President Trump. Always has been. And so has Glenn Beck been. Supposedly Glenn came over a little bit to Trump's side, but, There's been a lot, I don't know what this is, with attacking Robert Jeffress, the evangelical. I don't know Robert. I don't have an opinion about Robert Jeffress one way or the other. But they, meaning the left, really, really, really thinks it is Ron Jeffress' responsibility and duty to criticize the president over his past behaviors. Pamela says, I don't like Glenn either because he forgives the president. Joe says, what do you think about the information from the interview Tommy Collins did with Bill Binney? I didn't see that. Glenn Beck has his own issues. He needs help, in my opinion, Robin said. So anyway, with the evangelicals, over the weekend, they really expect Jeffries needs to come out, needs to condemn President Trump. I had a discussion with somebody from the left who claims to be an author on Twitter, basically talking about Jeffries. And my thing is, you without sin, why don't you cast that first stone? And the thing that I'm saying is that it is not, I'll watch it. It is not up to Jeffries to be, he who is without sin casts the first stone. Jeffries isn't without sin. Neither is the guy that I was talking to wanting Jeffries to condemn the president. Also, this is something about, his past behavior that as a, having an affair with somebody, they were talking about the Cohen Playboy tapes that supposedly Cohen has, and they were talking about it. You don't know, and neither does anybody else know exactly what's on that tape. President Trump could have been saying, there's a woman who's claiming that I had an affair with her. What should I do about it? You don't know. So the thing of it is, it's not up to any of us to play God. And Jeffries was saying, even Reagan was accused of being a womanizer. And that should not be what people look at, to vote for somebody. And this was supposedly past behavior of the president. Wow, politics is so interesting. Well, 101, you can kind of, go to another room if you like. I think there's probably Romper Room on another scope. So, hey, please tell me, when are you proving it? Until then? Yeah, exactly, Barbara. And again, President Trump has never made any bones about or tried to hide. The Democrats want freedom to kill kids, Pamela said. Trump has never tried to hide being an adulterer. You know, he has admitted to it before, which I don't know that he needed to, but he did. This was before he became president. And if he's not doing it, like I said, if he's not doing it in the White House, I don't need to know about it. You know, that's between him and God and his wife now, what they do. But other than that, I don't need to know about it. Romper room. Yeah, angels. I think that's what they were looking for. Trump was a player, and it seems he liked bunnies back then. Yeah. Yep. And I wonder how many people we're in the same boat, Barbara, but because they're not President Trump and not hated like him, nobody seems to want to care about it. It's like the Daily Mail. I saw an article this morning. Remember Hope Hicks and her boyfriend, that I can't remember his name, that was working at the White House and was supposedly he did something to hurt his wife. That was the accusations. Anyway, the Daily Mail, for whatever reason, is stalking them and telling people, oh, they were seen together. Truthfully, I feel he now is closer to God due to all the pastors he hangs out with right now. Yeah, billionaire bunny bumper. So anyway, the Daily Mail is stalking Hope Hicks and her boyfriend, and it's like they're private citizens. Why are you stalking these people? I remember Romper Room, Robin said. I know. Romper, Stomper, Bomper, Boo. Tell me, Drew. Oh my gosh. So that's where those people, if you're not interested in politics, you can just go to the Romper Room. Pelosi trying to get her supporters to sign a petition. She said, if you get 100,000 signatures, I can prevent President Trump from inviting Putin to the White House. Now, of course, that's a lie. Okay, well, we don't talk about violence like that in here. Yes, remember Captain Kangaroo? Yes, Wayne. I read that these women were paid to say this by a reporter named Brooks, a never Trumper, thinks he works for the New York Times. Yeah, who knows, just that. Oh, so Innis, is that with an E or an A? Innis is exposing somebody. So Innis, did you expose Obama? Did you expose Eric Holder? Did you expose Loretta Lynch? What else did you expose, Innis? You seem to want to expose President Trump on things that you have no proof of and nothing's been tried in court, but you want to come in and you want to expose nothing because you don't have any facts and you don't have any proof. So what you're doing is spreading rumors. So if you're going to say something, just say, in your opinion, or I think this, but, you shouldn't be talking with authority unless you have proof. So anyway, Pelosi lied. Zero facts, only hurt feelings. Exactly, Jules. Pelosi just wanted to get money. It was a fundraiser that she sent out having an affair isn't illegal. I know, Pamela. Where were these people when Bill Clinton was doing what he was doing in the White House? Where were they when John F. Kennedy was, supposedly having sex with Marilyn Monroe? Where were all these people? So anybody can say because he came and hung with her at the club that he had sex with her, Barbara said. Yeah. And isn't it amazing that these same people who had sex, supposedly, with these people, are the same people who want to make money off of it. Why do you need to make money off of it if you're having sex with people? If that's what you want to do, why are you asking then for money so that you won't tell anybody? Did you want to do that when you had sex? Was that the reason that you had sex with somebody? If it's consensual, which in these cases it's been consensual, if it happened at all, why are you then asking for money? Seems a little odd, don't you think? And nobody's bringing that fact up. Liberals don't need proof to accuse others. That's right, Robin. They convict others. Not only do they accuse others, but the liberals convict others without even a trial. It seems they wait until you are famous. Exactly, Barbara. And then they come out, oh, well, if you don't want me to say anything, then you better pay me. It's amazing what in our society today we think should be done or not. Yep, judge not, lest thee be judged. That's right, Pamela. 10 minutes of fame for some folks. Hey, Susie. Yeah, absolutely. And again, if you're trying to do right or wrong, then why are you asking for money? Those people that were supposedly raped by Bill Clinton, I don't see them asking for money these days. It's just their way of distracting us from the important issues, Joe said. Absolutely it is. If they can just keep the spin going about, President Trump being an adulterer, or President Trump buddying up to Putin, being too soft to whatever it is, another bot, whatever it is, then they can stop us and more importantly, stop the president from doing the great job that he's doing. And again, as I say often, you got to get out and vote. You got to vote for Republicans midterm election, because if you don't, it's all over with. The hatred is as strong as I've ever seen it. We're still looking for that list of who paid off for it in Congress with our money. Exactly. And it's funny, Barbara, we're not getting any of those people's names on that list because they're hoping that nobody's ever going to think about it again, that you won't know what money was used and how much was used to pay off, I don't know, people they sexually harassed, people that who knows what. Cannot say the word, I will go to timeout. I know, Barbara. Yeah, the other day when I put Mueller sucks in my timeline on Periscope, they've now marked it not safe for, may not be safe for watching, because I put Mueller sucks on there. Learn the difference between discernment and judgment. Exactly, Marlene. Not safe. I know. It's so ridiculous. They've done that to me before. They put that. It's funny. Pornography on Periscope seems to be just fine. And the raunchier the better, right? Somebody puts a hashtag Mueller sucks, and all of a sudden my video isn't safe for watching. You can threaten presidents. I know, Ruthie, they do. Yep, the bots are okay. Yep, the bots are okay. I know, Ruthie, you can threaten the president, you can say whatever you want, and that seems to be fine. It's ridiculous. It's upside down lawlessness that is starting to really, really get to be a problem. There's another bot. My goodness, what did all the bots decide to come here today? Zuckers, it's the end time. Yeah. Perry is biased, it seems, Barbara said. I would think so. So I guess now they have to go through and watch my video and see what, or maybe that, I guess the word sucks came up, so they figured that was pornographic. I have no idea. Lots of bots today, Lee. We've gotten rid of so many of them. I don't know what it is. It's Monday bot day for whatever. Okay, so let's see. Putin released the Russian sex boys. I don't know who those are, Marlene. Monday bot day, yeah. That's what should be in the heading. So anyway, the president said they talked about buying the story. That was what the tape says. Yeah, he said he did nothing wrong, and until something's proved differently. Oh, I see what you're saying, Marlene. Did you talk about LDS killing at church? No, Ruthie. There was one person got shot and killed in Nevada at the Mormon church. When I read it last night, it didn't say why, what the motive was. I have no idea what it was all about. Anybody else heard? Does anybody else know what happened in that church? Inquirer better quit saying he's a friend, he'll get raided. Yeah, exactly. Probably a squabble, Ruthie said. Could have been. This was yesterday, Lee. It was yesterday afternoon. Almost evening in Nevada. at a Mormon church. No, did not hear that. Barbara said, I didn't know about the shooting. Yeah. Now that's unusual. Thank you, Noel. Everybody can block that one. So there's a new trend going around that you've probably heard about. First, I've heard of it too, Lee said. The trend is that some people are calling their babies theybies, Theybies, instead of babies, because they want this was discussed actually on Fox. They had somebody on to discuss this. These people want a new, yes, theybies. They want a new gender-neutral designation for children. They say they want to keep the child's sex hidden and let them decide which gender they're going to be. So there you are. Theybies. My brain can't take it. I know, Marlene. I know. Saw that. I say child abuse, take the child away. Yep, haha, liberal Sherpa. This is pure child abuse to me. Yeah. And I saw something too that children were starting to get some types of hormone inhibitors, I believe, at a young age. This is the most crazy thing I've ever heard today. I know, Lee. And like I said, it was discussed actually on Tucker. Crack with Tide Pods mixed. Lynn said, forget that, horrible. Yep. There's another bot. There we go. Gender is only for grammar. Bob said, nope, not going to happen. Well, it is actually happening. Look, little boys yell at trucks and love them naturally. Little girls like pretties. Well, Barbara, people are saying no. That doesn't really come natural. That's what we make them do. U.S. going to pay for that. Probably that'll be us and not Alan. This is pure child abuse to me, Robin said. Yeah, absolutely. Pure child abuse. So look for that to get, stronger and stronger in your neighborhood near you, I'm sure. Oh, and other good news, there are 600 detained migrants that came in between December 2017 and April 2018. Well, the good news is they're pregnant and they're waiting to have their anchor babies here. So exciting, huh? So 600 giving birth to anchor babies. Nope, my granddaughter came out looking for her crown and heels and claws, Barbara said. So I would say deport those people quickly before they can't travel. New CPS jobs coming your way soon, Joe said. I'm so grateful for my children, that children know their identity is in Christ, Robin said. Yep. Yep, Pilot Mike. So it's probably lucky there are only 600. Grace Cove, Susan, have a blessed, wonderful day. You too, Lee. Thank you. Chicago has been named the rat capital of America. Let Planned Parenthood take care of those 600 women, Bob said. No, Planned Parenthood wouldn't want to have anything to do with them now. Chicago, there's been over 50,000 rat-related complaints in 2017. Seriously, she always wears dresses and has always loved strong princesses and knows strong girls, Barbara said. Yep. Well, again, they would claim that she was made to wear dresses, that she didn't have a choice, and, I hear what you're saying. I believe you, but you know what they would say. You know what they would say. Oh, Dummer is going to fix Chicago. Yes, isn't he? With all that money. Going to take a lot of money out of Chicago. Maxine Waters actually came out over the weekend. She called out the flag burners that burned that flag in front of her office. I don't know if you remember, those were supporters out there who were going to confront the Oath Keepers. She says she told them not to confront the Oath Keepers. They went there anyway. They tried to get into this guy's vehicle to take him out of the vehicle, apparently. And then when they couldn't do that, they stole the flag off the back of his truck and they burned it. And she came out and said that they were furthering their own agenda. That's why they did it. And she told supporters to stay clear of doing such things as that. It's kind of hard to say that after she's already come out and tell them to go out and bother people who are the Trump administration and supporters. So now she's reaping what she sowed. So anyway, you guys, if you would, please retweet this. Thank you, Noelle. Yes, she did. She did start it. Please retweet this, and I will see you guys tomorrow. God bless you. Take care. See you tomorrow, Facebook Live. And see you tomorrow on YouTube. Please share if you will. Take care.